Hi, do you want to set, or more importantly, achieve better financial goals? My name is Steve Coughran. I'm the founder of Boosting Your Financial IQ. And on today's episode, I'm going to talk about the 3 things that get in the way of us achieving true financial success. Ever since I was a kid, I always set goals. I was just that one of those weird kids. I had a little journal. I'd write down goals. I'd cross them off. I'd rewrite my goals. And I've been doing that for my entire life. I'm going to do another episode about goal setting, but in this one, I want to talk specifically about financial goals because you are probably in the process of thinking about the year ahead. Now, there are 3 things that get in the way of our financial success, and that's what I want to focus on today. So the first obstacle that gets in the way of our financial success is our relationship with money. So you have to ask yourself, what does money actually mean to you? This is such a critical question because if you don't understand this answer, you are going to be spinning your wheels or you're going to be working really hard and your riches, your wealth, your money will all become slippery. It'll be hard to hold on to. You'll self-sabotage and you'll do other things that will ultimately destroy your financial abundance. So what is your relationship with money? Let's get to the root of this. So for me, money isn't about going out there and buying the newest car or a fancy boat or jet skis or a motorcycle or a bigger house or whatever it may be. To me, money means financial freedom. Now, ever since I was a kid, maybe I was just this nonconformist that didn't really like authority, but I don't like when people tell me what to do. I know that's a problem. I can listen, I can take direction, but generally speaking, I don't like to be controlled and I like to be free. I'm like a free spirit. I'm an entrepreneur. I like to be creative. I like to create my own path. So freedom is really important to me, and money is a vehicle that allows me to realize this and actually achieve the freedom that I want. So for some of you, money may mean security, or it may equal respect, or it may be a scorecard that you use to measure your success. Whatever it may be, you have to get to the root of what does money actually mean to you. Now, I would recommend taking out a piece of paper, writing this down, brainstorming these different ideas, but get it on paper because when you get it on paper, your mind will capture the essence of this and it will go to work. And it will allow you to start making the necessary changes when you're setting your goals or when you're going out there and you're trying to transform your life. So get it down on paper. That's really important for the subconscious mind. Okay, what does money mean to you? That's number 1. And I could tell you for some people, because I've been there, trust me, money and their relationship with money is all jacked up, right? And that starts from an early age. So when I grew up, my family didn't have a lot of money. I was raised by a single mom who worked 2 jobs, who worked her butt off just to make ends meet. So for me, money was very scarce. There was never enough. And it was this thing that kept my mom out of the house. So it was this negative relationship that I had with money because there wasn't enough and it created hardship on our family. But it wasn't until I let that go, right? I let that thought go and I thought of the positive things related to money. For example, my mom working 2 jobs taught me about work ethic. It taught me about sacrifice. It helped me value the time that I had with her when she was in between working. So when I turned that around from this negative thing to a positive thing, and when I started to adopt an abundance mindset, my relationship with money started to change. But for some of you, money may be a negative thing. I mean, think about it. There's this phrase like money is the root of all evil. That's so misunderstood, but a lot of people think that. If you make a lot of money or you have a lot of money, you're going to go to hell, or you're greedy, or you're this slimy like Wall Street capitalist. That's a mindset that you have to overcome if you want to be successful from a financial perspective. All right, so understand what your relationship is. Understand the things that have been programmed in you ever since you were a kid. Maybe you grew up in a family that was really affluent and then you left home and you try to maintain that same lifestyle and you found that is very challenging and it got you into financial trouble. So whatever your relationship is, whether you had a little money like me or you had a lot of money growing up, you want to uncover what that relationship actually is and what money means to you. If you're using money as a means to go acquire things, okay, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to go buy things. I like to buy things. I like to have nice things. But if that's how you view money, then ultimately it just leads to competition and envy and greed and all these negative things that you don't want to get into. And plus, I've heard some people, it's like, if I had more money, then I could buy that fancy car, or I could be more sexually attractive. Well, I'll tell you, like, you don't want to be in a relationship where people find you attractive because of your money, what you have. You want them to find you attractive because of who you are, your attributes, not what you have, not what you do, but who you've become. So that's number one. The number two obstacle that gets in the way of our financial success is specificity, and more importantly, a lack of specificity. So when it comes to setting our goals, if you can't define exactly what you want, and it doesn't mean you have to have a crystal ball and know exactly what's ahead of you in the future, but if you can't define exactly what you want, how can something really materialize? So often I talk to people and they're like, oh my gosh, I hate my job. And so I ask them, I say, well, what would you rather do? And it's like, I don't know, I just don't like my job. And I say, okay, well, if you could choose any career, what would you do? I don't know, maybe something with like business. Okay, well, what with business? Like marketing, legal, operations, all these different functions out there, and they can't define it. So if you are not specific in what you want to accomplish, it's going to be hard for your subconscious mind to wrap itself around the goal you're setting out to achieve. Let me give you an example. I was driving back with my kids from California. We did this long road trip out there, and coming back, we stopped at this gas station. And right next to me was this car. And I looked at it, I was like, wow, that's a nice looking car, nice SUV. And I was looking to trade my car in for an SUV now that we were doing more camping and skiing as a family. And so I was like, what kind of car is that? And I looked, and it was a Volvo XC90. And I thought to myself, wow, I've never really noticed these or seen these on the road. Like, obviously I know what Volvo is, but I wasn't aware of this model. Well, after that experience, all of a sudden I started seeing Volvo XC90s everywhere on the road. Okay. And so it's just, that's how our subconscious mind works. Like, when you focus it on something, then all of a sudden it starts seeing it more, and it starts realizing the opportunities that exist. So when you're setting your financial goals, be specific. Now, I'll tell you, I've set goals before in the past that haven't materialized yet, okay? Or maybe they never will materialize in this earthly lifetime. But I could tell you, by being specific, it has taken me down a certain path, which maybe it opens doors that otherwise wouldn't have been open if I didn't set that specific goal in the first place. So even though that primary goal wasn't achieved, secondary goals were achieved because of that specificity. So be specific. What are you trying to accomplish? Why are you trying to accomplish this goal? What are you actually trying to do? How are you going to do it? Like, what are the action steps that you're going to pursue? And then what result are you looking for? So many people, they confuse effort with results. Your goals, like when you're being specific, you have to make sure that you're specific about the outcome that you desire. Otherwise, you're just creating a goal that's really a glorified to-do list. So be careful of that. Don't confuse effort for results. You can set all these goals and achieve the goals, but still not get the results that you want. So focus on results, focus on outcome, and focus on impact. Another thing with specificity is I always ask myself why multiple times, like 5 times. So I'll say, I want to accomplish this goal, and I'll say, why? And then I'll say, well, because of this. Well, why? Well, because I want to do this and this and this. Well, why? And then when you ask yourself why over and over again, you get to the root of what you're trying to accomplish. And when you understand the root of what you're trying to accomplish, maybe you'll discover a faster way to accomplish your goal than just the initial thing that you define when you were originally writing your goals. Okay, so specificity is the key. If it's not specific, you're gonna have a hard time accomplishing your financial goals. Okay, number 3, this is something that I learned recently, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing it wrong for so long. So let me share with you this last point. But before I get into it, if you're getting value out of this video, hit that like button for me, leave your comments below, and make sure you subscribe to this channel so you get updated every time I release a new episode. Okay, are you ready? Number 3 is desire and want. Okay, desire and want actually blocks us from achieving our financial goals. And let me explain. When you write your goals, okay, you want to be very specific, like I said. So specificity is key. Write it down. Try to visualize how you're going to feel when you accomplish this goal. Be very vivid in your descriptions. Be as specific as you possibly can. Now, like I said, you can't predict the future, but just try to jot down as many specifics as you possibly can. After you have visualized this, you've set your intentions, you have to let it go. You have to let your goal go. And what I mean by letting it go is you have to say to yourself, look, this is what I want to accomplish. This is my intention. And if I achieve it, great. It was meant to be. But if I don't achieve it, then it wasn't meant to be. And there's something far better for me ahead in the future. So letting go is really key. Now, when we desire something and we hold it so tight and we try to control our life and we try to force things through our sheer work ethic and will, that blocks our goals. I've learned this the hard way because trust me, I've done that. I'm like a type A person. I set a goal, I work my butt off, I get it done, right? But this desire and wantingness, I think, has really blocked me in the past in a lot of different ways. So when you let something go, it doesn't mean you give up on your goals. I'm not saying give up on your goals at all. I'm saying set your intention, but then be okay, surrender to your goal. Say, hey, I really want this, but if it doesn't happen, I'm okay because something better will come my way, or I'll learn a lesson which will allow me to achieve something even better or bigger in the future. But when we hold on to something so tight, you know what it does? It creates lack and scarcity, because when we say, I want this, we're ultimately saying, I don't have this. That's why I want this. So when you have a lot of want and desire, subconsciously, you're telling yourself, I don't have this. I'm not worthy of it. Scarcity plagues our mindset. Our limiting beliefs creep in. So instead, we could have an abundance mindset and say, this is what I want to achieve. I know I'm an infinite being. I know there are infinite resources out there in the universe, and I can attract those into my life by surrendering. And then we're free to express gratitude. We can express gratitude for the little things that come our way. So every day, I keep a gratitude journal in my phone, just in my notes in my iPhone. I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for every single day. And the trick is they have to be 5 unique things every day that I write down. So the interesting thing is, as I write down these 5 things, my mind goes to work. So during the day, before I'm even writing things down, it's looking for things to be grateful for. And it helps me to have a grateful attitude. And I'll tell you, some days my life doesn't go as planned and I have terrible days, just like the rest of us. Right? And some days I have a hard time writing my gratitude list and I'm like, oh, I'm not grateful for anything, and . But I ultimately find 5 things because there are so many things to be grateful for. It could be a butterfly that brushes up on your shoulder. It could be a sunrise, a sunset. It could be a kind word or a compliment shared by a friend or a colleague. There are so many things to be grateful for. And when we start expressing this gratitude, then we adopt an abundance mindset. So be grateful for how rich you are right now, how wealthy you are right now. And I'm not talking about in terms of money, but just think that you're an abundant, wealthy, rich person. Because if you have your health, if you have your freedom, if you have friends, you're able to watch this YouTube right now. I mean, what amazing technology exists out there. And this ability to learn, to grow, makes you an abundant person. So be grateful for it, and you will start attracting other things into your life. So those are the 3 obstacles. So once again, it's our relationship with money. Make sure you define what does money mean to you. And then from there, reframe your thoughts, okay? Because thoughts are things. Reframe your thoughts so you can develop a better relationship with money. You can reprogram things and recode yourself so you don't have these limiting beliefs moving forward. Number 2, specificity. Be very specific in setting your goal, setting your intention. Make sure you can describe it, you can smell it, you can taste it. Put it in your mind, hold on to that thought. And this will help you to be very clear in your intention. You have to make sure also that you're specific in the actions you're going to take, and ask yourself, do my patterns, my daily patterns, match my goal? You know, if you have a goal to start a new business in 2023 and you're going to grow it and be successful and be profitable, but you're sleeping in until 11 o'clock every day, look, your patterns don't match your goal. So make sure your patterns match your goal. That's another part of specificity. After you have this intention and you can describe your goal, you have to let go. That's number 3. Desire and want actually instills a mindset of lack and scarcity and limiting beliefs, because we believe if we don't have it, because we want it so bad, that means we don't have it, and then it creates this block. So set your intention, let it go. Remember, good things will come your way. One last thing that has really helped me is changing my mindset from this earning and deserving, Okay, that's my old mindset, earning and deserving. I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to set goals, and I've earned it, and I deserve it. And if it didn't happen, look, I'd get really discouraged and frustrated. I've changed that mindset to expecting and receiving. It's really hard to receive, okay? When you're good at giving gifts, or you're self-sufficient, or you try to practice self-reliance, that's not always a good thing. Like relying on other people, that's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign of strength. But I've had to shift a lot of things in my life, and I've gone from this mindset of earning and deserving to expecting and receiving. So as you practice these three things, when you set your financial goals, expect great things to come your way because you are worthy as a person. You have unique value in this world, and never ever forget that. Never let anybody tell you differently. So expect great things to come your way and get ready to receive the abundance that you deserve. I hope this was helpful for you. If you got value, like I said, hit that like button, leave some comments for me. Tell me about the stuff that you want to hear me talk about in the future. I love your feedback. Share this with your community, with your friends, and then also make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified every time I drop a new episode just like this. Take care of yourself.